If you love history, you love to learn, you're coachable, teachable, I think that honestly, Clash of Ideas is for you. New information is constantly coming in, old one are being debunked. But in the end, we are learning, we are evolving. So let's get into this next video.
When white people adopt yoga, meditation, or other Eastern traditions, everyone agrees that this is cultural appropriation. It's not even a debate. But the moment white Europeans occupy land in the Middle East, adopt its religion, and rebrand the main character of that religion to look like themselves, that's not cultural appropriation. Let's look at the definition of the word. Cultural appropriation is when members from a dominant group adopt elements from a marginalized group without understanding or respect for the original meaning, leading to exploitation and reinforcing power imbalances. Now tell me that doesn't describe exactly what Europeans did with Christianity. North Africans were Christians long before Europe. In fact, large parts of Europe were still worshipping trees and sacrificing goats to their ancestors. When the Roman Empire first encountered Christianity, they didn't receive it with open arms. Early Christians were a minority group which was heavily discriminated against. They would be executed in the most brutal ways just for entertainment. Then the Romans realized something. This Jesus movement wasn't going away. It was growing. No matter how brutally you tortured these people, they were not intimidated. So Rome changed its strategy. Fearful that they would lose control due to the rapid spread of Christianity, they stopped discriminating against Christians and decided to join them. But as long as they got to control the narrative. When Europe eventually colonized Africa, they handed out incomplete Bibles to slaves. Entire books and verses about freedom, justice, and equality were removed because the colonizers knew exactly what would happen if the slaves read the full story. It would have sparked a large-scale rebellion, and many slaves did rebel once they gained full access to the scriptures. Calling Christianity the white man's religion doesn't make you woke. It makes you historically illiterate. The same people trying to decolonize their minds by abandoning Christianity are actually repeating the same propaganda manufactured during colonialism, which says that Christianity was made for European, lasted about 100 years in Africa. Christianity has existed for over 2,000 years. Several empires have risen and fallen during this period. And you want to dismiss an entire religion based on the behavior of one empire halfway through the story. What makes this even more strange is that Christianity is dying in Europe and North America. Their churches are empty. Meanwhile, Christianity is exploding in Africa, South America, and parts of Asia. That's where the churches are full. How is Christianity the white man's religion if white societies are abandoning it? It's not Europe's religion anymore. It never was to begin with.
I can speak for you guys, but that was so insightful. So he talks about the Bible being published, but they had two versions, the ones they gave to the slaves and the one they kept for themselves. So there is this Bible called the Slave Bible, which was, huge in the 1800s. So that's reference, and I just wanted to correct that. And then he talks about how they stole the religion, and then they changed the character, painted the character as white. Now, this is true. So according to a quick Google search, it says that Jesus wasn't depicted as definitely white in a European sense until the Renaissance period, which was the 14th century to the 17th centuries. Though earlier, Byzantine art in the 6th century started showing Jesus as a light-skinned, bearded person. And then when we scroll down here, it tells you Byzantine, which was in the 6th century, was when Jesus began to appear as a light-skinned person and things of that nature. Now, come the Renaissance period, which was the 14th centuries to the 17th century, this period cemented the European look, depicted Jesus in their own likeness to make him more relatable.